you can have the replay from your side. Okay. Joshua, yeah, meeting. Okay. Joshua, how are you doing?
Fine, sir.
You're welcome. So if you can see my screen, let me
Thanks,
know.
sir. Okay, sir.
Alright. So let's open. So what chart do you guys want us to look at today? Yes, let's hear you. What chart? What volatility chart? Oh, I don't want someone to come and call currency pair here for me. Is David here? David, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you're Liberty. You're the one who joined with Liberty.
Yeah.
It's alright. So basically, yeah, I would look at some of the charts, but let's look at volatility 25 index for a start, and maybe we can look at other pairs. Now, for volatility 25
Is it
index,
inside the drive who we are?
okay, so no, this is Derive Go brokerage account, but we are currently using TradingView implementation to analyze Derive Go charts.
Okay.
Yes, so we are currently using TradingView implementation to analyze Derive Go's chart. Now, what we have here is basically the interface of volatility 25 index. Okay, let me accept this person again. Who just joined again? Someone is requesting me to accept. Okay, let's see. Accept. Alright. Alright, so basically, let's see, yeah. So basically on this chart, first thing I'm going to be looking at doing is looking out for the highest time frame. Now, because of this meeting, I would say, okay, let's look at the weekly time frame and the monthly time frame so we can get the biggest picture of the market, which will help us understand what we are doing. So for me, generally, I don't really look at it because I already understand it from the smaller time
Incoming
frame
mail.
chart. So let's say volatility 25. Let's look at what we have. So for volatility 25, you can see on a sell on it and I'm holding it. It's in good profit though. Let's see. But first thing, what we're looking at is we want to look at the weekly time frame and the monthly time frame. So for the monthly time frame, we can see that price actually gave us a drop. So this particular drop, we can consider it as a kind of retracement. So we go to the weekly time frame, we can still consider it as a weekly retracement. Let's see the daily time frame what it has. So the daily time frame, I will still consider it as a retracement, but it is in alignment with this zone, which we can consider or call our order block. It is in alignment with this zone. You can see we marked at this level, and most times, the possibility of price retracing to this low and continuing is there, which is here, and continuing a buy is there. But if it does break this support and retest, then we may begin to see a continuational drop to the downside. So having understood that on the higher time frame, on this place you can easily see weekly time frame playing out. I mean, the 24 hours time frame playing out here. So if we look carefully here, there is what some persons would consider as a triple resistance. This is a high one, a high also, and a high. So what we can easily do on this one, we tend to look at what we have also at the bottom. At the bottom here, we have, please mute yourself, mute yourself. If you have any question, you can mute yourself and ask. But for now, mute yourself, we don't want noise. So we have this area here as our, who is that?
Onye bi ya kwa.
So basically, as I was saying, we have here as our bottom, our triple bottom. So what we can consider here is we can understand that price is reacting from this zone, which we consider as which we call our order block. We can see price is reacting from this level here, which is our order block. That is a good one. This point here, and then we can also see that there are levels. There are levels at this point here. We have this one, which is a high. So one thing we easily look out for is we will be okay if price can clear out this low, possibly tap into this point. Then we can begin to look for either a continuational buy or a kind of change of character. But for us to get a change of character at this point, we need to see what we would call a break of trend line. Now that trend line break will come from this point here. So for us to see, we need to see something like this. We need to see something like this. We need to see price break this point. So if price is able to break this point, then we understand clearly that price is ready to give us a pure sell move to the downside. Now if we can get a clear break of trend line, okay, let's take this back. Okay, I'll just remove this. Hold on, let's, okay, good. So I'll remove this zone. So if we can get price to clearly break this area, if we can get price to clearly break this point and retest it in alignment with this resistance point, it will be a good one for price to drop to this point. That is for volatility 25 index. Yeah, so that is basically for volatility 25 index in alignment with this high, because if you look at it clearly, whenever price gets into this area, we can call it a zone, you can call it another block, you can call it, so in any way you want to address it, it's still what it is. So whenever price gets into this zone, it does what? It drops. It got into this zone earlier on here, it dropped massively. It got into this zone again here, you can see it's currently giving us a form of confirmation to the downside as a drop. Now the reason I got into a sell here, the reason I was able to get into this sell was this. I will go to the smaller time frame so I can explain that reason properly for you, and I hope you guys are able to understand what I'm saying. So the reason I was able to get into a sell at this point was the fact that I saw price giving us a particular reaction. Okay, so I saw price giving us a particular kind of reaction from this point, this area here. That was the reason I got into a sell. Now what was the reaction? If you look at it on the smaller time frame, where be it the one hour time frame or anyhow you want to call it, we saw clearly that the character of market, the trend of markets began to change at this area. How? We see, first thing, we saw a break of structure here. Price didn't get into this zone, and it gave us again what? Another break of structure here. Now this break of structure, you can see price, this retracement got into this zone. Some persons will call it an order block, some persons will call it a level of resistance. Now whichever one you call it, it's still in alignment, because this resistance, level of this resistance, it aligns here with this other block. Now if you should drag it through, you can see this resistance point still holding in alignment with the other block, still holding, and that was the reason we got in for a sell around here price dropped a little bit, retraced again, we added more positions and we are holding. Now generally the TP for this trade is at this low. That's the first TP, while the second one would be this low in alignment with this particular price point. So it's from here we could now begin to look for the next entry for the day. Some persons will want to hold or take buys from here to the upside, in whichever way. For me, I'm beginning to see a kind of change of character, but it would only work well if we see price break this point properly to the downside. Then we can easily understand that the full trend has changed. But if price doesn't break this point properly to give us a clear break and retest, then there might be possibilities that price will continue pushing to the upside. So let's watch what character would play out around this zone basically. So that's what I have for volatility 25 index. Do you guys have any pair you want me to look at? If you have any question, let me know.
Maybe we should look at BTC.
currency pair boys don't call here. It's alright, let's look at BTC. Okay. So I have trading view. Let's open the chart. Not that, trading view. Okay. Okay. I've not really looked at the Bitcoin chart for a while though, but I think what I'm seeing is not looking bad. Please, if you are not seeing my screen, let me stop it and share it again. Everyone is supposed to see my screen. Let me share it again. It will be either network from one side or not. So I just started sharing the screen again so you can all see my screen. Then I'm still running this one. So
Yes, we can see your
yeah,
screen now.
okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing you clearly. Let me increase the volume a little bit. Alright. So basically, first thing we'll look out for is the higher time frame. Okay. So now when I look out for the higher time frame, I will clearly plot my zones. I do that a lot. I'll first of all plot my zones. So the one, we can understand clearly that the market is on an uptrend. That's the first thing we can see. Then the next thing is we plot all the levels. So we plot all the levels. This is 1 and this is 2. This is another level, which is this point. We mark it out. We mark this level out also. This one is another level, and this is another level here. Now all these zones are zones on the higher time frame. I mean the monthly time frame basically, yeah. So we have this one also. Then we can consider working with the highest point. So all these levels are areas we expect price to reject from and give us a kind of continuation. Now we can now go to the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, the truth is, for this market, I'm beginning to see we should expect buys coming up soon, but we need to plot our trend line also to understand where we can begin to see a buy confirmation to this point, to this price point. So look at it on BTC. We can see what happened here. It cleared out this liquidity and gave a push to the upside. So it's the same thing I'm seeing here. It has cleared out this liquidity here. I may not expect price to go below this point. which is we may not expect price to go below price below what level 50, 49,000, 50,000. We don't expect it to go below that price point and continue pushing to the upside. But there are certain things we want to see also. You understand? So this zone is a strong zone for market. Some persons may want to mark out this point to pick a kind of what some will call sniper entry and all those extra things. But then this is also another zone. Why? Because if you look at it, it aligns clearly with this zone, a level of resistance here. It aligns clearly with all this area. But then let's just mark it out. So we can now go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, what can we see? On the daily time frame, if we want to mark out another block, this whole area will be picked out. This whole area will be picked out basically on the daily time frame. Please, that noise, mute yourself so you don't disturb us, please. So this area will be marked out. All of these zones will be marked out. Now, where we will begin to look for, like where we begin to see a confirmation for a change of character is when this trend line gets broken. So this is the trend line we are going to be looking out for. When this trend line gets broken to the upside and begins to give us like a change of character, you need to see it break to the upside and start giving you characters to the upside. That is when BTC will be due for a buy. But for the moment, I will still say you can still expect price to give bearish entries. Currently, what are we seeing? Currently, we can see that price has given us a break of structure on smaller time frame, which gave any person who was in the market at that time, it gave them entry at this price point for a sell. It gave them entry at this other block for a sell. It gave them entry at this other block for a sell. So some persons must have entered a sell on this one and they'll be holding it. I didn't analyze it, so, and I don't really like trading pairs with news a lot. I just prefer my pairs. So they would have entered here for a sell and they'll be targeting where. So they enter here for a sell and target, they put their stop loss at the wick here and then they'll be targeting this low. So this is the trade. It's still currently running. What we can expect is if you want to look for an entry, what I could expect for an entry is I will go down to my 1 hour time frame and I'll mark this resistance point. So I will prefer, or I would like to see price retrace. It has broken inside this level already, which is fine. It has retraced into this point, quite alright. So I'll expect and want to see price do what? Maybe break this low and come back to retest here. Retest here, then we can begin to look for a continuational sell to where this final point. So that will be an entry we can be expecting for BTC. So it's still a continuational sell. No availability for a buy at the moment. Let's see. Let me accept who just joined. So for looking for a sell on BTC is what we are going to be looking out for. No forms for buy at the moment. All sells. Why? Because it hasn't broken trend line to the upside. So this is the TP for the sell. So some other persons who entered on time, just as I said, they've already entered from this point. So whatever we'll be looking for is to a kind of re-entry. Now we don't expect price. Possibly the market can always do its thing. Possibly price could just retrace up and continue, give a bigger opportunity for a continuational sell. But for now, we expect that price will just break this low, come back here, retest, and start giving us the sell to this downside. So that is like for a re-entry. So for the person who asked me to explain what I expect on BTC, that is what we expect on BTC at the moment. So for this one, let's see volatility 10. So let's look at volatility 10 and see what we can be expecting on volatility 10. For volatility 10, I said something. Okay, first of all, one thing you must know is I love trading this pair a lot. This is like I love trading this pair. Volatility 25, volatility 10. I just love those two pairs. I love them a lot. So what we can see here is okay, first of all, let me go to this. Let's go to this MT5. So you can see, okay, this is volatility. Let's look at volatility 10. So volatility 10 on the higher time frame, monthly time frame is telling us it's selling. Monthly time frame is telling us we are expecting long-term sales. Weekly time frame also long-term sales, which means market is on a downtrend. That's good. So what will we do? We can now come here. So clearly understanding that market is on a long-term sell, and at 2 points at certain time frames we were able to catch long break, which is this was a long trend line break, and that caused this whole sell. So what we could see again here is I'm seeing here as a long trend. We also took this as a long trend line break, which is currently causing this next wave of sell. So I said something in one of my explanations. I said we had this area got taken out. And by virtue of this area being taken out, I said something. I said I would be appreciative of the market if it can get into this point. Now this will not happen all of a sudden. This will happen within a kind of long-term period. You understand? So this will not happen all of a sudden. This will happen in what I will call a long-term period. You get? So if price is able to get here, we can plot our trend line and we can now begin to catch maybe a long-term retracement to the downside. I mean a long-term continuation to the downside. So but the thing is, catching is this smaller time frame is still bearish. You get? It's still bearish. So let's go to the smaller time frame and let's see what. So currently it's already giving 3 candles to the upside retracement, which is fine. The ideal thing is just to still work with this small short-term sell pressure until it gives a strong break of trend line that may begin to give you price pushing to the upside. For me, I'm not interested in taking buys on volatility 10, even if it gives forms or reaction that it wants to buy, except it's very strong, except the confirmation is very, very sweet. I would look at that, but for now I can't look at I wouldn't like to buy. So what can I see? Even if I want to take a sell, I'm not still seeing it just broke this point. So I'm not seeing any reason to take a sell at the moment. So I'm still going down to the smaller time frame, guys. I'm trying to go to the smaller time frame. Let's see what. So we can see that price has created price have low here, a low, and now it's created a higher low. So some persons who can catch this retracement, they would simply plot their zone at this price point. So they will simply plot their zone at this price point and wait for this market to retrace to this. They wait for it to retrace, then push up. I have someone who will take his buy from this point. A lot of persons, they'll take their buy from this point and put their stop loss at the retracement, and then they will hold it. So if one can be able to catch that trade, you can be able to hold it. Let me mark what you can be able to hold it. or where you can hold it to. So we are basically waiting for a retracement, just as I said, and the retracement may come from this current zone. Now the probability, because it's a downtrend, the probability for the retracement to really hold long term is something to watch out for. But what do? It's what the market is presenting to us. So just as I explained, from this point, if price can come back here, retrace into this zone and close above this point, then that is the entry. What will you be doing? You will simply mark it out this way. It's going to be a long-term trade, so you're going to be looking at something like this, then putting your stop loss exactly at the low which created this retracement that might happen, and then you'll be targeting where the tip is very surprising, but this is what it looks like. So there will be a lot of price structure at this point. Now it won't make sense until that retest has happened. This whole move will not make sense. Then yeah, that is what I see. So this is what I'm expecting the market to do. Why? Because on the higher time frame it has really sold a lot. On the higher time frame it has sold a lot, so all we can expect is price to retrace into this other block. Then we can now begin to take our confirmations for a continuational downtrend. So that is what we can see on volatility 10. Let's look at volatility 10 1s. Volatility 10 1s is doing normal, it's doing what it has to do. Let's hope it still continues with that. So I already explained volatility 10 1s previously, but I will do a recap on this. So I said simply that we have a zone here. We are currently on an uptrend of volatility 10 1s, but then we have what we call a wave pattern. We are trading it within a wave pattern. Now the wave pattern is this. So this is the wave pattern. Price rallied to the upside, respected this zone, to the downside, pushed again to the upside, respected this zone, and then to the downside. In the midst of all these movements, we clearly can say we saw price doing what? Reacting from this zone, giving us a trend line break. So this is a trend line break, and some persons will take their entries upon the break and retest. So this is already a break into this zone, and price retesting this zone. So some persons have taken their entries from here for a sell. But now remember, this is the 24 hours time frame, so they have to go pick their entries on smaller time frame. So on the smaller time frame, the reason they would have used to take their entry is this point here. So this is the other block which created the entry here. So you can see entry here, and if they wanted to go a little bit deeper, they always plot what I call trend line. This is the trend line. They would have to plot, and this is an internal trend line too. So is what it is. So these trend lines are what they'll be using to catch this sell. This is the first TP, and that is enough. I won't expect any person who will catch this long move to still be waiting for something else. That's just crazy. Then for this particular sell, the trend line which would have helped for that sell is this. So that trend line, then with a break and retest. So we have this area also. Now this area is what we call, if you watch my videos a lot, you will see me talk about the resistance point or a high, marking out your highs. So that is this point which created this long-term sell. Now at this point, what am I currently looking out for? Now price could actually just push up a little bit and continue to the downside, but first of all, what we can see is price has given us a break of trend line already here. Now we also have a retest to this our zone. So if you can see what we saw on the, let's see. So if you can see what we saw on the higher time frame, you can see what price did. Price gave us a break into this zone and a retest, a break into this zone and a retest. And at the moment again, what are we seeing? We can see that price has given us a break into this next level and a retest. And at this point, you would easily see price giving rejections. You understand? It's coming, gave me to this point, gave rejection, came in here, gave us rejection, and this now is it's a lower high. This is a high, this is a lower high. Now with this lower high, what can a lower high simply tell us? A lower high is simply telling us that price is preparing to drop. Basically, we are expecting price to prepare and to drop from this point to clear out this low, to give us a new pattern in price. I hope you all are able to understand what I'm saying. If you are understanding me, please let me know. If you are not understanding me, also let me know so I know what we are doing. So now based on that, we have this area now as our alright. So we have this area now as our level of TP, take profit, and then we have this point as our trend line. Now this is our trend line. If you pay attention to how I'm drawing my trend line, you will understand clearly that I'm connecting my trend line from the lowest point down to the higher low. Now I am connecting it using the wicks. Some persons would like to connect their trend line using the body of market, but for me I prefer connecting my trend line using the wick of the market. So you can see I've connected my trend line nicely. It has given us a break and retest and continuation. So I think I was able to catch myself here, but I used the smaller time frame confirmation. So this was how I got my sell. I have a running trade on a sell here. I got it using this zone here, this trend line zone. I used a smaller trend line. So I use that to get my sell in alignment with resistance points. Now, because when you are trading on a live account, you have to make sure you are using you have to make sure you are going down to the smaller time frame to pick something that will help you get very minimal retracement, and that is what I did. So I was able to pick this zone. Out. This is one level I used myself. So the moment price closed below here, I got in for a sell and I've been holding it. Now it has hit first take profit, which is quite alright. But now I am going with that notion that I expect price to continue pushing to the downside, of which that's the reason why I'm possibly looking at a long-term sell. If I can be able to hold it, which I don't know yet, if I can be able to hold price to hit this point, it will be a good one for me, but I don't know. I have to properly look at how it is reacting from this point to know if I can hold it down to this point. So this is currently a signal. Now, can one enter here? No, you can't enter at this price point. Where can you enter? Now I'll show you something. So where you can enter is you need to allow price do what? Because it has broken this point now. Okay, let me pick this my +2 so that it would help me align it well. So I use this +2 to align my zone, align it well. So now, because it has broken this point already, what will I be looking out for? For me, I'll mark out this new level. Why? Because I want to see price break this new level and retest it. Then I will now confirm that we can now begin to have a free fall to this point. But if it doesn't break this level and retest it, then I will understand that it might want to come into this area. I will understand that it might want to come into this area to respect it again. Now, it has respected that area multiple times, which is this point. This is one area of resistance it has respected, which is here. This one. Then this is another area of resistance it's just respected, which is this one. You can see the moment price tapped here, it just sold off. So it might still want to come and tap it again. So for us to confirm that our sell has started, we need to allow price break this low before we can now get an entry. So the breaking of this law is a break and retest we are looking out for. So I'll call I'll draw this will be the end of the class. I would not want to go more into deeper explanation. I'll be